Does the decent man who deserves life not try to protect his child when it is attacked? How much more do we know the hero will emerge? He will not withdraw and accept a religion, philosophy, or culture that is allowed to exist as an excuse to not act. Certainly, if one doesn't understand this, they have no business even pretending to do martial arts. Love and the obstacle course and labyrinth. A man that is rejected by others cannot reject himself, is a proverb that Ojukwu pointed out. True love obeys a God that is all good, all knowing, and all powerful. That is a God of righteousness and true love, the one true God. Everything else is just nonsense if it doesn't uphold this idea in the martial art manner. It is nonsense. Life outside of the martial art order is child's play, rape called illusion, coerced sex garbage, garbage that is not worth participating in. And a man of God will not lower himself to be outside the martial art order. The marshaling force of the top martial artist is one of the main things that makes him the top. He is a son of Ra, the spirit that in my father's generation was only in him, and it could only be in one person in a society that doesn't allow people to obey him. Everyone else needs to destroy their false pride and embrace their true self, as the cultures they are in don't allow them to obey the true top martial artists or to be their true self. Their cultures are, as they would say, alchemically recreating them, reinventing them, redirecting them, pointing them down. It's not the same as being their true self. They lack the courage to obey God and to be their true self. Okay. And therefore they lose it, and then they lose it for good. So life is an obstacle course. It is a labyrinth. You know, the hero like me is going to be bumping off the side. It's not that, hey, it's just because you were born in this situation. No, it is the nature of this person. It's like a bird that lives in a cage where there's one hole that leads out and there's a bunch of holes that lead to other kind of tunnels, right? They're not going to be truly comfortable going through these tunnels. The only way they're going to truly find themselves is when they pop out and fly away. Okay. And so it is with the man of God, and above all with the top martial artist. Unless he emerges to face evil and to demand his rightful place, he is not comfortable. He's miserable. For one to say that he has an ego problem if he does so is like saying you have an ego problem if you eat food. What makes you think you deserve that food? What makes you think you deserve this air or to breathe or to live? Certainly after I'm gone, that is the case. But right now, that is, for someone like me, that is absurd at least. Everyone else needs to destroy their false pride and embrace their true self, as the cultures they are in don't allow them to obey the true top martial artist. The worst atrocities in human history occurred because people like Joseph Campbell, out of extreme dishonor, extreme childishness, extreme kind of yuppie shallowness, extreme stupidity, wanted to put their Satan-worshipping families above everyone else, including the top martial artists. Ironically, he had the nerve to become famous, partially due to some kind of book he wrote about the hero with 1,000 faces or some stupidity like that. He knows nothing about being a hero. All he knows is racism, white privilege, crypto-Jew direction, and utter dishonor, utter stupidity, utter profane, worldly evil. The heir of the top martial artist line, which is the Igbo line that ends with me, emerges as King of Kings in reality in a rebellious world. The people that are left behind after I die are the lowest forms of human excrement the planet will ever see. They make Judas seem like a brave, honorable hero, that supported his master. The world is set up in a way that makes it so, due to his sense of love, the hero emerges. And all that obey are, all that don't obey, are only scum. They can only breed scum. Again, if somebody is to defend is it not natural for someone to defend their child? How much more the true Spirit of God and the Son of God? Who could not put the Son of God above their child? A child, a fool, a demon, etc. The children of illusion-based rape, the craft, and rebellion are the sealed children of the devil. They sought to snake God by not obeying God's Son, God's messenger. God's messenger delivers the message, and his message was first and foremost to those simple-minded, worldly, non-martial artists, fools, obey. I am the only true martial artist. And my message from God is you must obey me, even if I'm in a coma. You are to sit there by the hospital bed and obey. And if you never obeyed me while I was able to be conscious, you should sit there by the hospital bed waiting for your orders and accept being sealed in hell as a matter of principle for your despicable lack of timing that your foolish parents set you up to have. Biafra. Wordplay for your fee, Obi. This is why it ends with me. The enemies of God didn't always pinpoint where the top martial artist was. Most of them, I'd imagine, most of the more ambitious knew that it was somewhere in Evil Land. They didn't know who it was, but they wanted to prepare for their long-term ritual. At some point, they identified who it was. They finally understood the accompanying moral code and realized that the hero must emerge, and only through him and through the conveyance of the true spirit of righteousness through him could then the new children be born, who are the people who must compete in the air war. And it is very apparent which one it is. My dad knew since I was a child and made me his namesake. Your fee, Obi. The LGBT community shamelessly sealed man in hell with every other group that is allowed to exist, pretending to be the Igbo's friend and carrying out the colonial plan to narrow down the bloodline of God to me and spearheading the move to keep me from my place and from being able to have a child in a world that is worthy to have a child. The top martial artist doesn't believe that his top martial artist child is prepared or should be born in this world. And certainly everyone who has a child is very, 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 very wrong. Man has chosen to live without true martial art principles and to serve the gender-neutral Baphomet rainbow tech rape cult, especially in the Silicon Valley, the Silicon Valley crowd. They deserve all the sexual immorality that will occur. You've decided to survive under the terms of the devil, knowing that it's a sexually immoral pedophile planet where rape is very, very common. Do you not deserve to be raped and abused? When you jump off a cliff, instead of serving God, do you not deserve to hit the bottom? The main people that are benefiting from this betrayal deserve God's hatred the most. Certainly they are chosen by the devil to be the greatest fools that ever existed. Every generation, they are the greatest fools. I don't care if they have IQs of 5,000. Every generation, they are the greatest fools. Those that walk a path to hell deserve to suffer, especially those that pretend evil doesn't exist and cite the non-Horus martial art interpretation, the non-Horus, non-martial art interpretation of the Bible as they make their liberal rape cult inspired arguments. Certainly they deserve to suffer. The Bible is like it's like stepping stones. There was the Jews, there was the cult of Yah and people like that. Then it was the Jews. They're stepping down away from the true point of reference, the true explanation of God in religion. As people get to the Bible, right, they have a certain potential to kind of extract these other views from it. Then these liberals direct them further away. Okay, and then they cite the hypocritical explanations of fools. You know, there's no words for how stupid one is if they are to believe the liberals' criticisms of the morality in the Bible. And I'm talking about the true horse morality that is somewhat obscure. Those that use their children as an excuse not to obey deserve to be rejected by God and have their children grow to be monsters. It is sad that they will never truly understand why they should have sacrificed them serving God. Surely the word sacrifice has the word ice in it because the sacrifice, okay, because basically the ice people want you to sacrifice your connection to God to take on a Western inspired and derived culture. There isn't a culture on the planet that isn't either inspired by the West or allowed by the West because it makes them look good in the minds of fools. Again, a man that is rejected by the servants of the devil cannot reject that he is of God. A man, not a child. There is no man that serves the devil. Only the children of the devil. One cannot be a man after I die. Only the child of foolishness that can never grow up. A person doesn't simply grow up because their father raised them. A person grows up because the martial art order raises them. Someone who's not man enough to serve the martial art order and to obey God through the martial art order is not a man. Since I do not have a child, and I strictly forbid anybody from doing martial arts or being religious after I'm gone, certainly it is sealed. That is the message of Revelations, revelations. Because of your refusal to repent for the colonialist rape of women, especially attractive women, for your refusal to stand with me, your refusal to do the right thing, accepting cultures that colonialist rapists allow because they do not prevent them from raping women, and they give their allies some attractive women as well. You know, they're pathetic underdeveloped nation allies, they're pathetic token minority allies. Your refusal to do the right thing, extreme betrayal, extreme spite for God. How could you not hate God the way you disrespect him to such a degree? Are you so stupid that you don't understand that your behavior reflects a deep-seated hatred for God? You don't obey God because you hate God. You hate God because of your despicable forms that you blame on God and not your parents and not yourself. God gave you enough logic to reason, to know that you should obey, to know what to look for. Certainly, one could only reject God out of hatred for God. That's what it is. Even the broken man hates God. Even the broken, adult, quote-unquote, male hates God. You know, I hate them for reducing me to this fucking Western explanation. These Western clothes of pedophile garbage, making no worthy clothes available to me. No worthy women. No worthy people. Yes, I despise those that hate God. A man is evil if he doesn't hate those that don't obey. The sinner is the sin, you fools. And then they are a sack of shit that the sin is occupying. What is there not to hate?